welcome to another episode of Giving a Hoot with Ryan and Luke.
I thought you were yawning for a second.
No, I think that was just I think that's just the kind of week and kind of last 5 games we've had.
Oh, yeah, it's been rough.
Well, let's talk some news first.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got Dion up for goal of the month for September. Absolute beauty. Get out there, vote again. Get on to a different IP, vote again. Maybe a couple more votes, and then send it to your friends, family, estranged family, ex-significant others, current significant others, significant others. Just send it to everybody.
Those polyamorous relationships.
Man,
we don't judge here.
Yeah. This is a judgment-free zone. Except definitely spam eggs, spam is better than your egg, spam, and eggs.
It's from the official Spam Museum in Austin, Minnesota. Thank you.
Oh, fair.
Did you even know that was a thing?
I did. And I've told you can't eat the exhibits.
Cannot, no.
Which is very disappointing. So, anyways, go vote for Dion because
especially
beautiful goal.
And that was the goal before they moved him to defense. So you should especially vote.
Yeah. Well, you should vote for Dion because that could be the only thing we won in the month of September.
Ooh. He's not wrong, folks. He's not wrong.
Yeah, sorry. Hard truths. But other news, we have a signing that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, Rich did very well, though.
Yeah, Rich has a great article up at wghmedia.com for our new goalkeeper, who's Salt Lake City or Salt Lake University or community college. Same place Jiba came from.
Yeah, he came from where Jiba was, and then he was with Real too, wasn't he? With the Monarchs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
19.
I think he was with their academy.
Yeah.
But first name Eduardo. I don't have it in front of me.
I don't either.
Sorry, I'm bad with names. Read Rich's article. He gets much more in depth. I do find it interesting though, his Salt Lake Community College tie-in, because that's 3 UO ties there directly. Jay having obviously been head of the academy at Real Salt Lake.
Yep.
And former Kitman, now Kitman for Real Monarchs out there. Gente, Jaime, who was an academy signing last year, is out there now.
Oh, is he? Good for him.
Yeah. Jiba obviously came in this season, has done amazingly. So I'm hoping we never have to see Eduardo play, because that would mean we would have another keeper injury.
Yeah. A lot of people on Discord are talking about this being a signing for the future.
Yeah, and I can definitely see that.
And I'm good with, one, not to knock Shido or Kevin, but he'd be the tallest goalkeeper on our roster. He's 6'4".
Yep.
So he's more of the prototypical height for a keeper. But he's also young, so he wants to get experience. And, Shido, as far as I remember, he's still leading for Golden Glove.
Yeah.
And if he wins that, that's 2 years in a row. Kevin's, no offense to Kevin, not getting any younger. And so having a young guy there isn't a bad call.
Well, honestly, a young guy, if you've got to ride the bench and you're not going up through a Premier League or Bundesliga or Eredivisie Academy, this is probably one of the best teams to be riding the bench on, because you have two world-class keepers in front of you.
For sure.
And Shido, if Shido's here next year, I'm gonna go have some words with his agent because damn, that boy is one hell of a keeper and deserves to move up at least one level, if not a few.
Well, and we know from what we were told, Kevin pushed Shido and changed Shido's work ethic and what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so having a young guy come learn from a guy like Kevin and Shido, who are the
Yeah.
first to arrive, the last to leave, doing that stuff, he's going to learn those good habits of being a good professional. And I love that part for him too.
I hope he picks up some of Shido's fiery nature, punching guys in the head, just maybe not the getting injured against Greenville part like that.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And hopefully Kevin teaches him how to score goals in Warner Park.
Yes. That would be very, very useful. Speaking of goals, there were two in the last game we played. One for us and one for North Carolina. So we started that game off pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, we looked decent start. I'm okay talking about the start because that was like only my third gin and tonic. By the end of the
That's right.
game,
You
I
had family, right?
Yeah, and by the end of the game, I had 5. I was feeling really good until I, finished the game, and then I was like, oh, don't feel so good after 5 gin and tonics. But yeah, starting off, one of the best starts we've had in a long time.
Yeah. No, Corey gets, what was that, 13th minute goal?
Yeah, it was super early, 13th, 15th.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it was very early goal for us. Everybody seemed to be working well together to start. Yeah. And then it just kind of went downhill. I honestly don't know what happened, but we gave up a goal 82nd minute, which is our last 5 games.
Yep.
Almost all of our goals have come after the 70th minute.
Yeah. I think didn't Kyle kind of go into that? I don't remember if he did a data dive or if that was on Discord, but yeah, shockingly a lot of late goals that this is a team that for 2 seasons and probably the better part of this season, if we had a lead, we felt pretty good about it. Defense rarely gave stuff up. I remember 2020, if we had a 1-goal lead, it was almost like, hey, we can lock this down for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if they're switching off. I don't know, if mentally they're switching off. We have a lot of young guys that just came from the college ranks. This is the longest season they've played in a really long time. There might be some mental fatigue going on, but there's just something happening where it shuts down. And I know it's North Carolina, but this league are dangerous. All 11 teams.
Yeah.
No matter where they're at in the table.
Yeah. The only place I can really find where we dropped off significantly and like an explainable cut there was when we've had to pull Dion back. Yep. And we did not have Isaac back there. And no offense to Isaac, but he never was like a flashy player. When he is out there, half the time you didn't notice him just tearing up the pitch. He wasn't doing so much, but without him out there, you're like, holy shit, what a diamond in the rough we had.
Yeah. It's college football season, so I'm always going to use my college football comps. But if you watch football, the offensive line is one of those positions that if they never talk about them, that means that they're having a really good game, right? They haven't held. They're keeping the quarterback clean. Defense is like that for soccer. If your back line isn't being talked about during the game, it usually means they're doing really good. They're shutting things down, and that was Isaac. Isaac was one of those players that he didn't get a lot of the pub, but it was because he did all the little things right, and he kept us clean. And him going down was huge.
Yeah.
Clearly, how many guys did we go through back there before Jay settled on Dion?
3. Well, Dion being the third. Although Shaft has kind of occasionally been sliding in there. You had Eddie, and Eddie's pretty solid there, but Eddie's better in the midfield. Emir, we saw what happened there against Tucson.
Yeah, for sure.
Dion and Shaft, which Shaft again, he didn't get the start for this game, but when he came on, he had some good. He was a bright spot out there, which was a definite positive. Had at least 1 or 2 shots on goal, and really brought in a good tempo, good energy later in the game. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold it, and what would have solidified us in the playoffs. We are still technically not safe. We are technically not a lock for the playoffs, although Madison and Tucson definitely are not in the playoffs.
Yeah, what's the magic number now? Is it 41, 42, something like that?
I think we're at 42, aren't we? So it's got to be 43.
Okay. Yeah. So, not that I want us to. We need to find a way to win the next 2, especially since they're both at home. But it is at least somewhat of a relief that all it takes is a draw on Saturday to hopefully solidify at least making the playoffs. The thing I fear is we've drawn a lot this season, and if you only get 2 more points, 3 points in October, you're likely playing a road playoff game. Something that we have yet to do.
Yeah.
We would have played a road game against Greenville in the first season.
Yeah, don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah. And we all know what happened last year, having 2 home playoff games. But this is going to be a really weird silver lining. But honestly, this team not immediately going and repeating as a champion is almost better for all these guys that we have on this team, because I think we can get a lot of these guys to come back, knowing that there's more out there and knowing they have more room to grow. And I think that's got to be Jay's sell to a lot of these young guys, right? Like, look at Dami, look at Evan, look at these guys that we had for 2 seasons that were able to take that, win a championship, and then go on to the next level. And so that's the only silver lining I've really been able to take out of this so far is, if we're not going to have a successful end of the season like we expect there to be, at least we know that we're not going to. There's a potential to not have a huge roster turnover, and having guys like Shaft and Corey that can be around for more than half the season, or a third of the season, and actually get the time to gel. I mean, look what's happening with Corey all of a sudden. He got comfortable with the team, and now he's scoring goals. He's playing a lot better, and he's the guy that we all expected him to be when he came.
Yeah, Corey definitely has really brought himself into the team. Great guy. Ran into him and Ricky at the Uber House Oktoberfest. Definitely finding ways into the community.
That's awesome.
Just all about getting in with this team, and I think he's taking a spot as a leader, not just by scoring goals, but I think he's a veteran. He's played all levels. Like he's a guy. If you have him here with Connor, if Louise is back, just so much veteran knowledge that can be imparted to these younger guys.
Agreed. And I think a guy like Noe, who's had a great season, only is going to benefit from another year of playing with a guy like Corey or having a captain like Connor. Like those guys just
Yeah.
benefit from that and having those, having that chance to learn from guys that have done it at various levels. I mean, all three of those guys have played at various levels.
Well, honestly, Noe didn't get to start playing the position he's best at regularly until Corey came in, till he had, as we were talking about, putting that veteran next to him.
Yep.
And I beat that hammer just all season.
Yep.
He's Noe looks better. Granted, when he's playing as often as he is, it's difficult because his stamina, his season long stamina is not quite there. But I think he's looked like a significantly better player when he has that veteran pairing up top.
Well, and a guy that is a genuine threat besides himself, and we've talked about this a lot, but one of the reasons Evan got in some of the positions he got into last year and scoring some of the goals he did was because you had a guy like Greg Hurst drawing defenders. You have to keep an eye on him. No offense to Hugo. Hugo wasn't that guy. Yeah, Ricky went and scored goals, internationally, but Ricky wasn't doing that in the league, so they weren't paying as much attention to him as they were Noe. But having two violent threats up there makes a big difference.
Do you think it has something to do with having a goon up there? Because I get that kind of vibe from Corey on the field. Same sort of like goon sort of vibe that we got from objectively a goon.
And with this, but I also do agree with you because talker. Corey's a talker. Now they talk differently. I think Greg's a little quieter. Corey's more fiery. But here's the thing: is even if they're not scoring goals, they're always in the ear of a defender, right? They're chirping, they're saying stuff, they're chirping at a keeper, and that starts to mentally grind on guys. And Hugo's not doing that. Ricky's not really probably doing that. And so yeah, and that leaves a guy like Noe or Evan the chance to kind of just sneak in there and be the quiet one.
Well, I will say this with Corey, he's probably easier for defenders to understand than Greg was.
That's fair. Yeah, the accent.
Yeah. All right, let's jump ahead to the future. We need to win this one. Tormenta's in great form. Currently, they're sitting fourth. We're sitting third. We've got Greenville and Richmond ahead of us.
I mean, Richmond's kind of pulling away at this point.
Yeah, we need a win here. A win gets us almost a guarantee of a home slot going into the playoffs. A draw, I think we still clinch playoffs, but a win's going to help. This is also going to be a weird one because this is going to be a colder game. Temperature is going to be dropping into the low 40s. So it's going to be closer to when we played the Menace back at Morrison in March.
Let's go.
It's going to be interesting to see how the guys adapt because tomorrow we're recording this Thursday, Friday, temperatures in the 30s.
What's our high tomorrow? Like 55. I love it.
I finally pulled out all my air conditioners.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no central air. What do you think we're going to be looking at with a lineup here? Guys have had 7 days rest. It's a pretty easy shot down to North Carolina. Looks like they had a couple days off too.
Oh boy. Top. I think you got to keep Corey and Noe up there. I think that's your best pairing up top, and you need goals. Tormenta's not like a free scoring team, but they're also, I mean, they're in fourth place for a reason. And and kind of the whole idea behind them is coming to fruition for them is have an academy, fill your team that way, have young guys, and kind of build your team up. And it's all hitting in their fourth season, but those guys know each other really well on that team because they've played together for quite a while. So I think having those two up top to at least be dangerous together. I think our back four is pretty much set where it's going to be set. I think.
Well, Alex may have picked up an injury.
Yeah, it's so hard to know. What does Jay never says anything?
Yeah. I mean, if Alex is injured, then we've got G in center, which changes. I think then you have to play Dion in the back over Shaft. But if you got Alex there, throw Shaft in, and I think that could be nice, dangerous. Maybe put Dion in the midfield again.
I do like the opportunity to try and have Shaft and Dion on the field at the same time. One Shaft.
Well, Shaft and Shaft and Ryan, Shaft, Ryan, and Dion, like that. All of them are super fast. They've got great crossing ability. They Shaft needs to control it a little bit, but once he does, it's going to be hands down best crossing in the league. It's a Dami level.
Sometimes the legs don't carry him as far. Between the legs just being older and the Achilles and stuff like that, I think there's times where you can tell he's saving it for a big run. But if you have Shaft with him, whether Dion's at right back and Shaft's up at a wing or vice versa, Shaft is so fast he can cover, right? And having that guy that can cover and track back and get a tackle if Dion can't make that run, or run past Dion to get a cross in is great. I mean, Joe's kind of become a mainstay. You don't see him off the field a
lot. My only, out of the midfield, I think the biggest question is Shivani or JP. And JP's, I mean, both of them have been great in the attack. Both of them are showing themselves to be solid sixes.
Mm-hmm.
I think JP's been rushed through some injuries, which I would rather see a fully healthy JP on the field than Shivani at this point. But if another week of rest helps JP get back and we can solidify a spot in the playoffs by playing Shivani, much rather see him out there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd say is defense. I want someone that's a little bit more defensive in the midfield that can help protect the back line a little bit more. I think that Alex and Dalton have developed. It's almost like the Dalton Alal pairing of two guys that are solid. They know what the other guy's going to do. They trust each other. And G's just not quite there yet with that trust level.
At the same time, G has also been played a few different spots.
Everywhere, yeah.
Like very, very Swiss Army. But I'd say this, like, if you get consistent playing time next to Dalton, you're going to become a better player.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
I think that's
Alex is
easy. Yeah, I think that's easy to see over his 3 seasons here. And Camille's not on here tonight. So we're saying this not under duress. But no, like Dalton's presence back there it's definitely a reason he's got the armband whenever Connor's not starting.
For sure.
He is.
Well, I think what you're saying is Alex is a perfect example of, because from that Des Moines Menace game to today, long time there where we were like, who's going to be the guy with Dalton? And now today we're like, it's gonna be Dalton and Alex if Alex is healthy, and that just shows his growth. And I, Alex is a damn good defender because he's learned how to play it professionally and be there. And I think Dalton has a lot to do with that. I think it also helps that we have the keepers we have. Whether it's Kevin or Shido back there, you have two strong leaders at keeper too. Not sure what's going on with Shido. I'm gonna start with Kevin just because I haven't heard any rumors or anything about Shido being ready to go. Shido for me is a lot like JP. Like,
give him the rest.
If he's not 100%, rest him. I'd rather have him for the playoffs.
I definitely agree there. No, Shido's a guy who I know is going to stay fit throughout an injury. Like, if he's working on an injury, he's going to keep everything else fit. Same with JP. Like, they're guys I don't think, unless it's, they're out for a season, don't need a long lead time to get back into starting 11 fit. So
agreed.
I'd rather give Shido another week if he's like questionable, and just let him rest it out. I know he's probably hungry to get back out there, wants to get playing again, but if it boils down to it, I want him in the playoffs. That's what we need to start building or resting our roster, assuming we make the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing is, Tormento's for sure a playoff team. Fuego's right on that border. And, and so either way, if he's rests this one and plays against Fuego, he's getting a playoff caliber team coming against him, so that when we have that playoff game, he's ready for that. He's seen that level of competition, which is good for him. If you're coming back and you're, again, no offense, North Carolina, they're dangerous. Obviously, we gave up a goal to them, but coming in against them is different than playing a Fuego who plays fast or playing against Tormento who's in fourth place right now.
Well, and right now, Tormenta has a fully fit Tobias Otieno.
Oh, that's right. I can't boo that man though. I can't boo him.
I can't boo him. He's too damn nice. But he's dangerous. He was anytime he was fully fit for us, he's dangerous. I know Dalton knows how to shut him down. I know JP knows how to shut him down. I think Toby would probably run away as quick as possible in a non-celebratory fashion if he scored on Shido.
For sure. Agreed. Or Toby would get very confused and run towards the berm because he'd be very excited for himself. Because the last time Toby scored in Warner Park, good things were happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Toby was fully playing. Team of the week became like a mainstay for a while there. He was getting named the team of the week almost every other week, almost weekly, ever since he got fully fit for them. So, we knew how good Toby was. Unfortunately for us, just a lot of different circumstances happened for Toby that did not line up the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, I think Jay probably wanted him to slot into that dummy role, and Toby wants to attack. Toby wants to be center of the field, and he wants to attack.
Yep.
He can do it. He can definitely do it.
You can't argue with him with two of the greatest goals I've seen scored at Warner Park. That free kick and then the late one in the final. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Score prediction?
I'm gonna say 1-0 Omaha.
Yeah. 1-0 Omaha. Who's gonna score it?
Noe.
DK.
If DK scores, you
DK,
think Camille will come back on the pod with us?
nah. I think Camille will probably launch a celebratory own pod. Uh,
Hey, I'm down with that.
well, she's gonna stop playing soccer every night of the week. She plays more soccer than the professional soccer player that she's uh, marrying, current professional soccer player. So
That's true. I do think though during the off season we need to start a new segment, which is Camille, update us on your wedding planning.
ooh, I think we're gonna need that. Probably it's gonna have to be an interactive one. You know, get some fan voting in there. Just
We should get together with her and let us try things like cake.
I
I'm just saying.
I could definitely try some cake.
Dalton can't eat it because he has to stay in shape for soccer. So we sacrifice ourselves.
I will sacrifice my waistline for cake.
We know DK listens to this, so DK, we're here for you, man.
Yep.
It's all love.
Just here to help. Events coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously the game on Saturday,
Which no one has
7
an excuse to
p.m.
miss because Nebraska
Sure.
plays a Friday night game.
Yeah.
No Husker football.
So 7 p.m. game at Werner Park. It's Hispanic Heritage Night, brought to you by Supermercado Nuestra Familia. Which
Nailed it.
Yep. Sunday, there is from, what's it, 11 to 1, noon to 1 at the Hale Varsity Club.
Yeah. I think it was 11
which
to 1.
is, yeah. Player meet and greet. Go get yourself some lunch. Is there football at that time yet? Like I like American football, foosball.
Yeah, there'll probably be NFL games on, but
Yeah.
pay attention to the Chiefs, the NFL, because that's all I have time for.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I will
So
be at a volleyball game watching my child play volleyball at that time. So
that's more exciting. But
I also have different
if you get
access to the players. So
true. Get out there, meet players, get some autographs signed, have a Bloody Mary to help cure your hangover from the massive Union Omaha win Saturday.
yes.
And then a couple hours after that, out at Backswing Brewing, you have the Omaha Brigade, Sporting Kansas City supporters, since they will not be making the playoffs.
Why did we have to bring that
up? They will not be making the playoffs, but they are doing a decision day watch party with Football for the World. So bring some of your new or lightly used soccer equipment out there, or cash. They're doing a raffle for some signed Sporting Kansas City merch, as well as Backswing's got some tasty beverages, and it's going to be a great time with Football for the World.
I was say support our friends from Football for the World.
Yeah, I mean they're doing some great stuff. They're about to, I think, do the ribbon cutting at their Jackson Elementary mini pitch.
And then Monaco will
so
probably like make it again. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in the meantime, make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting. Check out the blog, like, subscribe, comment there. WGHmedia.com. Rich has been putting out some great articles. Kyle's got data dives, and as we've got a lot of stuff coming in the off season for the blog. No, a lot of opinion pieces, editorials, data analytical dives. A lot of stuff going there. Going to be a good time to keep you going through the off season. Probably some expansion news, some actual team announcements, not just potential
that hey, we might want a team.
Yeah, exactly. Those are getting a little old, but probably some expansion news coming in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eyes out for that. And yeah, Ryan, who gives a hoot? We do.